So you've decided to make a step stool, and the first thing we need to do when making the step stool is cut our plywood. As you can see over here, I had a long strip of plywood. I try and keep 14-inch ripped plywood on hand. If not, we'll grab a sheet of plywood, we'll take it over the table saw, I can help you rip it. And if you have a strip that's 14 inches ripped already, the next thing you need to do is measure off two 17-inch long sections and cut them out on the miter saw, and that's what I've done. Number one, number two. Of course, I've written all over these, like we do. I know the pretty side is going to be the outside, because the inside you won't see, as in most projects. I've put the dimensions on, I put my name on, so nobody mistakes my materials with theirs. And again, I have two pieces, as you can see. The next thing to do is to get the plans and start laying out the design of the sides. These are going to end up being the sides. When I do this, I only need to lay out on one side. After I cut this side out, it becomes my template, and I can simply lay it over the top of the second piece, the second side, and draw out the outline of the cut side over the uncut side, and I don't have to measure twice. So I've got a few tools here. I've got my large square, which I use to measure off my 17-inch sections, but I can use it again as we do the layout. I got my speed square, tape measure if I need it, and I'm just looking at the plans. I like to start up here in the corner. You probably can't see this, but it says to measure over 8.5 inches. So again, you can use any of these three measuring tools you want. 8.5 inches. If I use the tape, I want to go close to the edge of my board. All right. So I'm going to put my indication as close to the top as I can, and that's going to be important when I start connecting these dots that I've made. All right. So I've gone over 8.5 at the top. Towards the bottom, tells me to go over 3, and then 11, and then I'm left with 3 more. So there's our 14. So I've got this, there's our 17, 3, 11, and 3. So I've got this 17 inches this way, from side to side, left to right. Alright, I'll go ahead and use my large square to do this. So I'm just going to put this down at the bottom. The nice thing about a large square, it's got measurements both on the inside and also on the top. So depending on how I'm situated, that can be very, very, very helpful. Alright, so again, 3 inches this way, make a registration. Then I'm going to go 11 inches further, so that lands me at 14, and make another registration. I also know that in the designs, this has a bit of an angle, and so the angle is a 1 by 1 inch 45 degree. So I'm going to go ahead and measure at 4. And I'm also going to measure 1 inch less than 14, puts me at 13. Now I can go ahead and go up that 1 inch, draw just a little registration here. I'll do it on both sides. And now I can use my speed square, and I can basically come up this next one till these meet, and then again I'm playing connect the dots. Okay, so you can see very quickly I've already laid out the bottom. I've put my registration on the top, and I'm just going to keep working up my board. Over here it tells me to go up 7 inches and then in 1 inch. I think I'll use my tape measure for this one. So I'm going to go up 7, and I'm going to come in 1 inch. I like to use my speed square for that one. notch coming in, and then it tells me to connect the corner with that registration that is 7 inches up and 1 inch in. So I will do that now. Next, tells me again I'm 1 inch in and go 6.5 more inches, which lands me at 7.5. And this is really my last registration I have to make. Just double checking my measurements. Always want to measure twice, cut once. You cannot put back on what you take off. So I'm at 6.5 plus 1, 7.5, which would be right here. And now I connect these two dots, and I have my layout. My next step is to take this over to the bandsaw and go ahead and start cutting out the layout of the side.